So you can see the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. So obviously I need not, this is not tailor-made for you. Obviously, I come to you as a railwayman. You're all railwaymen. As an institution which so many love to hate and so on. But the important point is there is nobody who would like to ignore. I do borrow a lot from superior intelligence, not being a very accomplished speaker, and that is the wisdom down the ages from my uncles, the oldest one being Kabir, who was born 600 years back, Shakespeare, 400 odd years back, and my latest uncle, Ghalib, that's 200 years back. I will attempt some humor. And although Akshat gave me a time regime, I have taken the slot. There is no time restriction. Still, I cannot go on and on. So there's somebody who's not mute. All right. And fortunately for you, unfortunately for me, we have some kind of a time regime, so cannot go on long and winding. So there's nothing like a beginner's luck. And unlike in railways where we look after we leap, we must look before we leap. Dead bends hardly tell any tale. It's no use crying over spilt milk. So let me start my Sarkari talk, because you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I will start with Atmanirbhar because this is a buzzword now. It was Make in India was in new its avatar was Atmanirbhar. And what was it supposed to be? Was lions of Make in India would roar into Atmanirbharta. That was the buzzword. And what has actually happened is only occasional purrs, but nobody has really seen the roar. All this I will
record bhi kar raha hai speaking.
Hello, there's somebody who's not on mute. Yeah, okay. So all this you know about, you would have read in your shows, other shows and papers and so on, but this was not Atmanirbhar to my mind. Even a railway circular says, if you see what is written in blue, is local content means the amount of value added in India which shall, unless otherwise prescribed by the nodal ministry, be the total value of the item procured minus the value of imported content. So I import something for 1,000 rupees, keep it in my garage, sell it for 2,500 and claim 50% value addition in India. This manipulation did go on. So all these circulars are not going to make you Atmanirbhar. You know what is technology? I will not get into that, but it's basically manufacture, construct for a product or a surface with techniques, methods, processes, and specially allied equipment if required. But technology, ladies and gentlemen, is a creation. It's not merely science, engineering, it's also an art, and it lives in the heart and the mind of the creator. There is no technology yet to try and transfer the content of a mind to another mind. So transfer of technology, which we have relied upon for the last 70 years, in railways or otherwise, is an oxymoron. Farah, if you have heard of him, a little unconnected share, but मेरे शेर आईना खाने के तेरी बेशुमार अदाओं के, पर ऐसी भी है कोई अदा जो रहेगी सीना-ए राज. There is a lot which remains in सीना-ए राज and which is not transferred. And you make a beeline again to get a technology after 15 years because you don't learn enough. Technology without ownership is meaningless. I did not really tell you what is an innovation. It comes from an idea, it becomes a concept, and when it is put into the market with a value, an outcome of value, that's when we say the cycle of innovation is completed. All this you would readily understand. I'll give you an example. There's a lot of stress, as you know, that e-vehicles would come to India in a big way by 2030. Today in the country, we have 17 lakh buses. And in spite of all the thrust, because the technology is not homegrown, you know how many e-buses we have made in last 5 years, in spite of all the brouhaha about Atmanirbharta? 1,700. That's all. That's the number of e-buses in the country of our size. So it's innovation, technology for a product, management to let it flourish, with, very importantly, a sense of pride at the ownership. That's what is called Atmanirbhar. That's what should be called Atmanirbhar. So there are views, pros and cons. I'm not an expert, not an economist at all, but I'll be talking about the spirit. And therefore, this question. I would want you to go to the chat box or go make yourself unmute, some of you, and tell me, to do anything anywhere, what do we need to do? Anything anywhere, not railways, anywhere.
Sir, first we need a plan, sir.
Planning, very good. Yes.
So actually what we need is to love what we do.
Wow. You have stymied me for the first time in last 2 years. Anyway, I would still like some answers, if somebody else would.
So we need funds, sir, to start
Funds.
anything.
Resources, yes.
We need a proper team.
Teamwork, absolutely. So, yeah, go ahead.
So we need the motivation, we need to know the objective, we need to know why we are doing what we are doing.
Objective
How
and
does it help?
motivation. Absolutely. Objective. All wonderful answers. Vision, leadership, will, determination, planning, resources. Absolutely essential. But the gentleman who said this, who was that? Can I have your name, please?
Yes, sir. It's Rahul IRSM.
Rahul IRSME. So you and I think alike, so I must give you my book. Send me your address separately. I'll mail it to you. Well, the idea here is wherever, whatever wherewithal, whatever machinery, whatever artificial intelligence and everything wherewithal you may have, but unless your people are with you, your human resources with you, you will not stand anywhere. And what does it mean? Love your work, first of all, because you will be doing great injustice if you don't love what you work. Not to yourself, but your organization, both. Quit unless it's a bread and butter issue. The whole idea is to love your work. And if you do that, that has to come, even that cannot be contrived that much, but it can be. But loving your colleagues, those above, those below, is something you can manufacture. You have to manufacture. And as a result, you will love your organization, never curse it. You will point out mistakes, you will be critical, but you should always love it. The poet Jigar Moradabadi, if some of you heard of him, has said, "Ek lafz se mohabbat ka adna ye fasana hai." This word love has a very brief story. एक लफ्ज़ से मोहब्बत का अदना ये फसाना है, सिमटे तो दिले आशिक, फैले तो ज़माना है. You can win the world with love. That's the whole idea. Primary resource is human resource. Contrive and manufacture. Why do I say it's not in the human nature to love everyone? You will agree with me. But when you are in a managerial position, when you are a leader, be it small or large, you have to contrive to manufacture love. Start with love. There is a caveat, I'll come to that, but start with love. So which organization you work for? You work for an organization which has so easy to love this organization. I will briefly take you to a poem by it's a very long poem, but I'll just remember 4 lines which I'll come to. डालती बेहिस चट्टानों पे हकारत की नजर, कोह पर हंसती पलक को आंख दिखलाती हुई, दामने तारीकी शब की उड़ाती धज्जियां. दामने तारीकी ये शब या तारीकी की डार्कनेस, शब इवनिंग. खस्र जुल्मत पर मुसलसल तीर बरसाती थी. That's for you, a train, Indian Railways train at night. And that's what he has pictured here. And so is you can still see the slides, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Some of my view has so. I'm not able to see the entire screen. Can anybody help me here? Screen sharing. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So, for some reason, I'm not able to see the screen. Okay. Get it back. All right, I think I have it. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right, sorry. So you are it's an organization you cannot fail to love. I mean, if you were selling Pepsi Cola like Indra Nooyi, the greatest leader, women leader in industry we know of, it would be a little difficult. For you, it's not difficult. The caveat I was talking about is what I'll come to now. Why do I present this here? Because I'm not here to talk about the romance of Indian Railways, the legacy of 170 years, and the rush for the window seat as the marvel, the magic of India passed you by, or the snaking train behind you, or the platform, which is a great leveler. मैं ये बात करना चाह रहा हूँ कि आप before I joined Railways, 70s से लेके all my service life, there was this question, एक जैसे लग रहे हैं सभी चेहरे मुझे, होश की ये इंतहा या बहुत नशे में. Why not this? A railway and a country of this size, year after year, in spite of couple of technology transfers, why do we keep making the same train, same aesthetics, same speed, similar technology? That was a big question in my mind all the time, and I'll come to you how was converted into a reality. So in 2016, I was posted in ICS, and that was a little bit of a story. Chairman was one Mr. Mittal, who was my GM earlier. So the posts available were, I was CME in the RWS, so that was out. That was also vacant. It was either ICF or Southwestern Railway. When I went to meet him, he thought I have come asking him to post him to Southwestern Railway. Because, you know, there's no comparison between the feudal spread of a zonal railway and a production unit. But I told him I want ICF. So he said, you've made my job easier. That's what happened. I was posted. This was set up in 1955 with the vision of making India a manufacturer of current technology coaches. Or rather, it was a dream. It was set up like that. But the vision never was realized because, as you say, a vision can become a nightmare when the leader has a big dream and a bad team. And the bad team was, to my mind, Indian Railways. More of the same, numbers increased, many expansions, but basically, you hold the world record of number of coaches, but hardly any train worth its salt. To the extent that Chinese premier came to ICF in 1950s and wrote that this is a place all Orient should be proud of. And I would like Chinese engineers to come and learn from ICF engineers, Indian Railway engineers, how to make coaches. This was, and in 65 years, where have we reached? We make a beeline to go to China to learn from them in every aspect of railway technology. Why railway technology? All the technology. That's what, in a way, we have made of our country. So, it's a story of making a GM. I must give credit to the government in last 4, 5, maybe 5, 6 years. Immense empowerment has been given to the GMs. And as you can see on the screen, when I made this comparison, when I was called to talk, that being a government CEO, I didn't even know what CEO meant. I made this comparison. And in the end, I found that a GM of an Indian Railways is more empowered than CEO of a large company. There are two ways to look at it. One is the canvas given to you is the time for you at the fag end of your service, 2, 3, 4 years, to give it back to your organization. Or simply say that हमको मालूम है जन्नत की हकीकत लेकिन दिल के खुश रखने वो ख्याल अच्छा है. Most GMs hardly use these powers, but the powers exist. You cannot claim that you are stuck in a bureaucracy which doesn't give you the empowerment. What I will not go too much into the various things because transformation that we tried in ICF was the reason, not the other way around, for turning out a world-class product, apart from other improvements. And these involve basically shedding the feudal mindset, opening up empathy. As Shakespeare has said that Thistle in Merry Wives of Windsor is the world is mine oyster, which I will my sword, open it and slowly realize what kind of people work for you. Break all barriers, open your door. Anybody working in ICF could walk into the GM's room without going to any secretary or PN or anybody. Anytime. I was told you'll be crowded. I said, it won't happen. People are doing good job. The personnel brand, there are hardly any grievances. People don't want to waste each other's time. And that's what happened. Very rarely did I have people walking into my room. I instead used to take a round of the shop because CME had told Trivedi, who's GM now in Hajipur, that आप ये प्रोडक्शन वगैरह से इंटरफेयर मत करो, करोगे तो बिगाड़ोगे. मैंने कहा बहुत अच्छे भाई, तो मेरे पास कहानी कम है तो मैं ऐसे ही टहलने निकल जाता. और उस समय 12,000 के करीब आदमी थे, धीरे धीरे कम आदमी एक भी नहीं भर्ती किया मैंने, उस पे आऊंगा. तो आप एक भी वॉक लीजिए आधे एक घंटे की, तो you will meet about 500,000 people. And you would just go and say, shake hands. They would avoid because they were working and would be a blackened hand or whatever. You just shamelessly shake their hand and just ask for any problem. And 99% of the time answer would be no problem, sir. If at all there were little problems about some toilet, some lighting, some alien or some AE was following me all the time. So during these days, they would go and attend it then and there. But the goodwill you generate was phenomenal. This is one example. Other is this, you see on the left-hand side, this family tree. Now it's been replicated in many places. What it was basically in corner of the office. You see in these government offices, there's a corner where the janitor keeps his bucket and brooms. Ugly sight in every government office. Threw that out and converted it into a simple family tree where photograph of every single employee, no one bigger or smaller, was arranged in alphabetical order. All 12,000. So it was quite a project to find your own face, and it became a selfie point for all the employees to come with family and take their photograph. Even to look for my photograph, I had to take the assistance of my attender. Another thing is this, you do work or not, whether your predecessor did or you did or whoever, somebody below you did, you are always spending government money. ICF had a budget of 10,000 crores, the biggest PU in India. And I had put a lot of stress on new facilities for productivity, for welfare and everything. And we don't have time to get into that. But they were innumerous. So facilities created or renovated, and anything where we spend more than 5-10 lakhs, up to crores. But before starting all this, I asked the deputy chief engineer कि यार यहाँ देखो जरा inauguration block कितने हैं ICF में जिनमें किसी रेलवे अफसर का चेयरमैन डाउनवर्ड नाम लिखा हुआ है, गिन के बताओ। इसकी समझ में नहीं आया, उसने अगले दिन गिनवाया, हाफ हार्टेडली बताया कुछ 80-90 है। मैंने कहा हो नहीं सकता भाई, ठीक से गिनो। मैं कह रहा हूँ जब से शुरू हुआ तब से एक एक कॉर्नर तलाशो, एक दिन और देता हूँ। तो वो सारे IW वगैरह लगा के उसने told me साहब about 158 or something. I said यार by tomorrow you please extract all of these and throw them. धूल में डाल दो, क्योंकि धूल में डालने लायक ये वो लोग हैं जिन्होंने अपने को इमोर्टलाइज करने की कोशिश की है, irrespective of who it was. Immortalized आदमी प्लाक पे नाम लिख के नहीं हो बन पाता. Unless you live in the heart of the people you work with, you won't be immortalized. Some dog is going to pee on your plaque someday. So it's better I throw it out in the dust before that happens. From now on, every inauguration will be done by a staff member of that section, that area, connected to that senior most, that fellow who's given 20, 30, 40 years in that area. He's going to appreciate it, not some GM or some CME or some DRM or somebody. Leave alone politicians, it's their job to glorify themselves. और वो फिर आप एक सिंपल सेरेमनी में उसको बुला के उसे इनॉग्रेट कराइए, उसको एक बुके दीजिए. बुके otherwise were banned for any. I banned it. Later, other organizations will follow. No bouquet to any. Bouquet. काम के time bouquet shows that it's some kind of a toadiness going on, not work. और उसको एक मॉडल दीजिए और उसकी फोटो लीजिए प्लाक के सामने, नाम उसी का लिखा रहेगा. The people used to come with their family because this was a moment of their life. They appreciated. And अगर 540 inauguration हुए 2.5 साल में वहां, so out of it, for very large projects, I used to call luminaries of that field. Sports का हुआ तो sports वाले को बुलाया. No officer or politician. Otherwise, the staff of that section, 500 के ऊपर वो थे. उनको जब 500वां inauguration हुआ, as you see on the right, this was the inauguration of 500th inauguration. The plaque is still there in me. And we put a small photograph, as you can see, as flowers of all inaugurations done by staff. This was a simple technique which cost us nothing, but we were able to win the love of say 500 and connect them to them. So 5,000, half the strings was won over by this simple measure. Now, looking at the time, this is the last thing I'll say. Love doesn't mean that you tolerate indiscipline. You must show your fans your toil before mercy comes into the play with 2% people who share. As the poet Dinkar has said, Kshama, Kshama Shobhati, us bhujang ko jiske paas karal ho, uska kya jo vish rahit, dantहीन और सरल. Unless you show your fangs, your kindness or mercy has no meaning. 165 fellows were sacked in 2.5 years. All the deadwood, all the shirkers, all the people, one special category, people who harass women at work, sexual harassment or gender-based harassment. उनके लिए ये प्रोसीजर ऑफ इंक्वायरी भी नहीं होगा. उस पे आता हूं. प्रोसीजर ऑफ इंक्वायरी का एक सिंपल ऑर्डर था जो extremely illegal tha, but that's the way it works because you are an administrator, not a judge of Supreme Court. I withdrew the power not to sack people who were issued SFI. I don't believe that you should punish anybody with any stoppage of pass, PTO, increment, nothing, because you are, the offense is minor, but you are punishing somebody who will not be with you anymore. उसको समझाओ, punish मत करो. I actually strongly believe in it. Not that I didn't punish people, because I was also part of the organization. But I am very firm. This minor penalty SF11 is useless. It only alienates people. But जो ये 2% है, इनको SF5 देके पूरी इंक्वायरी करके बाहर करो, बाहर. No reversion, no stoppage of increment, and no nothing. Out. This is a message to those who are sitting on the fence. 20% तो वो है जो motivated है, बिना आपके कुछ किए काम करेंगे. Only a pat on the back. There are fence sitters who see कि administration क्या देखता है, काम करने पे क्या मिलता है, बहुत क्या आप दे सकते हैं. काम नहीं करने वाले को क्या कर सकते हैं ये दिखाना होगा. You have to show your fangs. Mercy comes later. If there is some starving or something, or some family related serious issues, yes, look into it. But I said I withdrew the power not to sack. What did it mean? In any SFI, I told the OS confidential, nobody less than that or nobody above that. मैंने कहा बुला के कहा अगर कोई पेनल्टी नोटिस ये लिख के देता है कि इस आदमी का एनीथिंग लेस देन कंपल्सरी रिटायरमेंट और रिमूवल और डिसमिसल, तो आप उसको मेरे सामने हाजिर कर दीजिए. बिकॉज मैंने वो पावर ही विड्रॉ कर लिया इलीगली. जो उसकी सिंपैथी मर्सी अपील पे दिखाई जाएगी. So it worked, and that's how we were able to remove 165 people, because choice not to remove was withdrawn. पहले एक दो लोगों ने ट्राई वाई किया. somebody also tried to tell me कि साहब ये नेचुरल जस्टिस और ये सब के खिलाफ है. मैंने कहा भाई वो कोर्ट देखेगा, और इन 2% के साथ नेचुरल जस्टिस वगैरह मेरी समझ में नहीं आता. नेचुरल जस्टिस देखी जाएगी अपील के साथ, और वो अपील इंडिविजुअल नहीं, वो भी सीपीओ साहब थे हमारे बड़े काबिल. मैंने कहा यू आर अ सिंगल विंडो. 165 आदमी रिमूव हुए हैं. हर अपील को देख के आई अलाउ यू कि यू चूज विच 20-25% कैन बी टेकन बैक, so that it is done with transparency. Now, I'm not saying it's something which is very much possible in a zone which is very big, but the principle has to be same. You have to develop your team who would follow this same principle. Then we created icons and all that. We'll come when we have question answer. I'll straight away jump about ideation and encouraging people to give ideas and so on. Very briefly, I'll tell you the story of Train 18, which is, as I said, was there in my mind all this time. Train set is nothing but a self-propelled train with permanently coupled vehicles, no attachment, detachment, no locomotive, only 2 cabs, all the modern train sets, all the equipment placed under the board so that the entire space is available for passengers. one cab to another, you can walk through sealed gangways without feeling that you are crossing the coach, unlike our rickety vestibule that we have today, which is not even safe for children, older men. You're all railwaymen, you'll understand the clear advantages because you can pack equipment all over the train. You don't need any reversal at stations, platforms. It has much faster acceleration, less energy consumption because you are replacing a 16 coach train with 2 power cars with 1 or 2 locomotives. It's 160. 20 coach, 20 rolling stock configuration with 16 with same number of passengers. Obviously, it will be much more fuel efficient. And better maintainability because loco alag nahi ja raha, coach alag nahi ja raha. So ये सब advantage हैं. It is spacious, I say, wide gangway. This is an actual picture from train 18. But ये हुआ क्यों नहीं? Can somebody tell me that ये 25-30 साल से दुनिया में everyone is making train set, loco और train set भी बनती हैं फ्रांस में. They are also train set because the loco can't be differentiated from the coach, basically not that much distributed. But ये जो loco और train का हमारे यहाँ किस्सा चला आ रहा है without making any good modern train, ये हुआ क्यों नहीं? Can somebody tell me?
So we need low cost trains, and our tracks are not able to withstand that much speed. Even now, we can only go till 130 km/h when the train 18 can reach 160 km/h.
Okay.
And low
Okay, that's yeah. And anybody else? No. So okay, let me tell you. Even for 130 km/h, you could have made a train set. Why did you not do it for last 25? It's been talked about for last 25 years, right from 90s. Anybody?
So I think it is because no one took the initiative and stepped forward and said that yes, we can do
Okay.
this.
Okay, but your answer is lying on the screen. Can somebody read the screen and tell me?
Departmentalism.
By it was all these answers that you say were also given, but the primary reason is what you see on the screen. Loco primarily electrical के पास, coaches mechanical के पास. तो ये अब mechanical कहता है कि अगर ये train set आ गई तो ये तो सारा का सारा electrical हो जाएगा. और इलेक्ट्रिकल की तरफ से कहते हैं कि भाई हाँ आनी चाहिए, चलो इंपोर्ट करते हैं. ये लोग तो मैकेनिकल वाले चूंकि मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में इनके पास है ज्यादा, ये मदद करेंगे नहीं. एंड all that kind of झगड़ा, and then people trying to show that train sets are not worth it. मैंने भी किया है. I was an RDSO. We were doing simulations to prove that train sets are no good. I used to always privately say कि साहब ये internecine warfare must be ended because you can't stop it. You can stall it, but you cannot stop it forever. But unfortunately, mine was perhaps the lone voice or whatever. I was a small cog in the machine. ये main reason था हुजूर. और ये आज़ार फरीदी साहब हैं, वो कह गए हैं कि अपने ही भाई को हमसाया बनाते क्यों हो? Why do you make your own brother your neighbor? हमसाया means neighbor. अपने ही भाई को हमसाया बनाते क्यों हो? सहन के बीच में दीवार लगाते क्यों? You work for an organization and for the country. What is this talk in railways about mechanical department के achievement, electrical department का इसका achievement, उसका achievement है, department का achievement से दुनिया को क्या रखा है? They would say भारतीय रेल क्या काम कर रही? This feeling must come, and I look up to you young people to realize that ये दीवार जो सहन के बीच में बनाई है, इससे बड़ी बर्बादी कोई और नहीं है. Now you may hear this lectures from so many, इस साइलो में मत काम करो and so on, but I'm saying this from experience, and I mean it, that you can achieve wonders only when you shed this departmental जो हमारे माइंड में बैठ जाता है ना, डिपार्टमेंट कुछ नहीं होता, फॉर सेल्फिश इंटरेस्ट और प्रमोशन एंड सो ऑन, परहैप्स सेपरेटली देखो, बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू वर्क इट्स इन ओनली इंडियन रेलवेज एंड इंडिया, डिपार्टमेंट नाम की कोई चीज आती ही नहीं है। और एक और रीजन था, नाउ समबडी कैन टेल मी व्हाट इज दिस? यस,
Sir, lobby system and importing.
yeah. So import का अपना फायदा है, not go into that, but remember three things. This is not for giving you a lecture. Think about, and I will go to nobody less than my grand uncle, Mr. Shakespeare. Remember, there is no legacy as rich as honesty. I had written something for you. At this point, let me tell it. When you have, when you come to my position of having retired or having left this, whichever job you do, not only railways, how do you want to look back? Do you want to say that I rose to become whatever, XYZ, right up to chairman of the railway board, and I'm so happy? Do you want to look back and say that I was very, very busy all my service life, and here I am retired now enjoying my life? Or do you want to look back and say that I have worked hard, but I also did extract my value for additional work? I have made a lot of money, so I have a lot of money. Or do you want to look back and say that I have left my imprint, and this is what I gave to my country, and this is what in the evening, so-called evening of life makes me happy? You have to decide. Let me tell you, dishonesty is of no use, because whether you are dishonest or honest, in the end, when comes the time to enjoy your resources and your money, whether you are honest or dishonest, you get enough salary, you will find your way of your standard of living and that of any dishonest fellow. There is no difference. Only he has a lot of money in his bank balance, a lot of money in bank or whatever in cash, and it's only a burden upon. It's of no pleasure. And that legacy is the richest legacy. There is no legacy as rich as honesty. Another thing, if you are honest to yourself, you would be bold and you'll never be fearful. Let me assure you. Because if you are dishonest, suspicion will always haunt your guilty mind and you will not get the pleasure of working. So don't take it as a lecture, my friend. This is from Shakespeare, but each and every these pithy lines make so much sense. Here, there was a lobby, both again for similar departmental reasons or whatever. One trying to get it, another trying to stall it, and true to Indian Railways Babudam, nothing happened for 25 years. You see, all of us have so many concerns, especially in India. ये काम नहीं करता, that doesn't work, this doesn't work, no organization work, India खराब है, India में हर चीज गड़बड़। हमारे पास कितनी कंप्लेंट है, कितने शिकवे शिकायत, वो देखिए अमेरिका चले जाइए, अभी सिस्टम पर, अरे भाई ठीक बात है, आई एग्री, पर आप क्या कर सकते हो इस पे कभी आपने सोचा? आपका एक बहुत बड़ा सर्कल है, योर कंसर्न्स व्हिच आई हैव ड्रॉन हियर, बट एक बहुत ही छोटा आपका सर्कल है जो आपका इन्फ्लुएंस है। जिस भी आप काम में हो, आप असिस्टेंट स्केल में हो या जीएम हो या चेयरमैन हो, इवन मोदी जी का आप सर्कल ले लो तो इस बड़े कंसर्न वाले सर्कल में छोटा सर्कल ही आएगा। पर इस सर्कल के बारे में कितना सोचते हो आप? That should be your focus. Don't curse the darkness, light your own candle. शिकवा जुल्मत शब से कहीं बेहतर होता। शिकवा means complaint, जुल्मत darkness, शब evening, night. शिकवा जुल्मत शब से कहीं बेहतर था कि अपने हिस्से की एक शमा जलाते जाते। तो वो फ्रेंड्स क्षमा जलाने का टाइम आ गया जब जीएम बन गए, इतने दिन से बोलते रहते थे ये करिए वो मत करिए, अब क्या? दिस वाज द टाइम, देयर वाज अ ड्रीम एंड हियर आई वाज। तो अबाउट ड्रीम्स आई टेल यू टू थिंग्स। आपको बहुत लोग कहते होंगे लिव योर ड्रीम्स, नेवर लेट योर ड्रीम डाई, ऑलवेज अचीव योर ड्रीम, और ये वो, ये सब बात ठीक है, लेकिन पहली चीज है भाई आपको अपनी कमाई, अपनी फैमिली, अपना व्हाटएवर वो भी देखना है। कोई एक शायर ने कह भी दिया कि ख्वाब होते हैं देखने के लिए, उनमें जाकर मगर रहा मत कर, हर समय उसी में मत परेशान। इतना परेशान जरूर रहो जैसे हमारे प्रेसिडेंट साहब थे कलाम साहब। A dream is not something which you see while sleeping. A dream is something which does not let you sleep. Okay, so not to that extreme. I say that your dream must linger somewhere, lurk. Don't let it die. Don't let it extinguish it. Don't let it overpower it, but don't let it die. You will get an opportunity someday to realize it. And that's the time to seize it. And that's when you can say कि देख उस ख्वाब में जब आंख खुल जाती है सुबह, क्या कहूं मैं क्या कयामत मुझ पे तब लाती है सुबह, तब कयामत आनी चाहिए, and तब ड्रीम रियलिटी में बचेगा। Then you have to live that dream. This was the simple message I wanted to give about dream, and this is what happened, because now I had the dream, I had a wonderful team bequeathed to me. मैंने उसके लिए कुछ नहीं किया, of officers and staff who had the chutzpah to do something, but they were prevented because the thinking was not big enough. वो more of the same की thinking चल रही थी. So that was fortune. I would think I had the vision. I had the opportunity now, heading the largest factory in the world, but there were doubts. Doubts क्या थे? I was told कि भाई आप हो गए बहुत बड़े जीएम, लेकिन आपको सैंक्शन चाहिए बोर्ड से। चेयरमैन साहब मित्तल साहब के पास गया, मैंने कहा था 2 ट्रेन सेट बनाने का सैंक्शन दे दीजिए। ट्रेन सेट बनाने का बोला, आप समझते हैं मैं बना लूंगा? उसने कहा भाई ऐसे तुम हो तुम बना सकते हो। But I was foolhardy, वो other members and so on, they were pulling him back. Jealousy, red tape, lobbying. They thought I was spinning a yarn. तो पता चला वो its proposal is being turned out. So I went to I said, "Sir, where is the sanction, sir? He said, "My other board members are not letting me give this sanction." I said, "Sir, you are the chairman. Please import what you want at whatever price you want. Who am I to stop you? But give me a sanction of just 2 planes, and I'll make it at a price 1/3 the price at which you import." And then again I lied. I said, "We are in March end 2017. You are retiring in July 2018. I will turn out this plane before you retire. You will be the one cutting the ribbon." He seemed to waver a bit, and then I said, "I'm grabbing your feet. I'll not leave it till you give me the sanction." Friends, it's good to have pride. It's even good to have ego, but in the interest of the country or organization, kill your vanity. Somebody is going to kill your vanity someday. It's better you kill it yourself today, because vanity and pride are 2 different things. For the larger purpose, if I'm touching the feet of the chairman railway board, there is no loss of dignity for me. I'm enhancing my dignity. It's not symbolic. I said I will do it. By the evening, I had the sanction. And there we were. So the team said, "कि साहब आप sanction तो ले आए, 200 crore में हम लोग बनाएंगे, पहली बार we are going to make something this complicated on our own. We will spend 200 crores और नहीं बनी तो scapegoat कौन होगा?" मैंने कहा भाई मैं रिटायर हो रहा हूँ ना, 1.5 साल बाद, 21 महीने बाकी थे। So ये रिटायर्ड आदमी का क्या करेंगे? Although I was in a fool's paradise, ये रिटायर्ड वालों का भी बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं। So I said, credit all yours, friends, because you'll make something which the country is waiting for 30 years. Something modern. Discredit, if it fails, totally mine. But your doubt should not be your traitors which make you lose the good. You might win just because you're fearing to attempt. Once again, my uncle Shakespeare. या इकबाल साहब जैसे गिरते हैं शहसवार ही मैदान जंग में, वो तिफल क्या गिरे जो घुटनों के बल चले. Your days of crawling on your feet are over. You are a mounted soldier. You will attempt, good or bad, you will do it. You may fall, but only soldiers fall. Next time, you will be a winner. That word, everyone got excited. And I had earlier said, no technology because it's an oxymoron. I said our mode would be our own creation, good or bad. We may not make the best train in the world, but what we make would be totally ours. खुद का बनाया हुआ with full ownership of it in the coach factory. No Angrez sitting in Europe or no Japanese sitting in Japan is going to tell us what to do from a high pedestal. That excited them even more. But we made a reality check, and those who are technically inclined would understand there were 3 areas where we were not good enough, including RDSO and ICF. पर हमारे पास टाइम कितना था? हमारे पास टाइम ही था. अप्रैल में आ गया था सैंक्शन. Hardly we thought, only matter of months, 1 year and some months. तो इन 3 एरिया का क्या करें, उसके लिए भी अंकल हमें सिखा रहे हैं. Better a witty fool than a foolish wit. वो बेवकूफ ना बनो कभी कि मैं सब कुछ कर सकता हूँ. रेलवे में बहुत ऐसे बेवकूफ जिन्होंने कुछ नहीं किया, आपको ये बोलेंगे अरे ये इसमें क्या है, ये कर दो, वैसे कर दो. They will give you 1,000 lectures of telling you how to do things, something which they have never done themselves, or something which has never been done. Will make it sound so easy as if it's only you who's the negative one. Everyone around is positive. Beware of that. Realize your limitations. We realized, and that's why I said it is better to be a wise fool than to be foolishly wise. Engage consultants. No company which will give you TOT and then try to sell you for next 500 years. Only design consultants. And every line that they draw, every word that they write will be with us, either through virtually or face to face, so that we learn in a manner that next time I don't go rushing for another technology transfer. Next time I'm capable. This is a 200 km/h train, tested at 180, run at 160. Next time when I want to make a 250 km train, I need not go to somebody, I'll do it myself. So that was how we gave 3 consultancy contracts for that areas. Now it was a question of when I told them, as the villain Iago says, but I must quote, that agar aapne ye hai, which I have reason to believe that you have purpose, courage, and balance. Now is the time to show it. Fair enough, but there was a doubt. What? Ki bhai, this is April. Such a project usually takes, go to any multinational, and correctly so, takes close to 36 to 42 months. We had only, he said by December 18 you retire, we would just have started manufacture, and the new leader may say ki ye sab kyun kar rahe ho, leave this. Why are you taking a risk, do more of the same, than where we would be. I said yes, that's a problem. Uska solution ek hi hai, what you see on the screen. You work like donkeys. Indians हम लोग गधों की तरह काम तो कर सकते हैं. We may not be as developed in mind like German or Japanese. Burn your midnight oil. Hold your conferences, hold your discussion with all industry purposes which were helping in a big way. Indian industry had developed. They were doing this project for the pride, not for money, because they knew something that they would remember was in the offing. And we will do something which has never been done in the world again. This is April 17. We will turn out this train before December 2018, before I retire, so that you would not have any such apprehensions. That gives you 21 months. And to make sure that the train goes out in 2018 itself, calendar year 2018, let's give it a name, and the name is Train 18. Well, as I said, after that, with all the hitches, glitches, disappointments, euphoria, everything, the train was finally unveiled in October of 2018, living up to its name twice, not only in calendar year, but in precisely 18 months from concept to design to engineering to manufacture to validation to testing out of ICF by the end of October 2018. Since then, it was run at 183 kilometers hour. That was theoretical. Actually, it had to do 180 to clear 160, but the best speed seen in India. It was launched as Vande Bharat Express by the Prime Minister himself. 2 years, I said nearly, actually it's more than 2 years now. 2 rakes in service, and there's not been a single failure to date. And the punctuality of the train, just because of its better acceleration and deceleration, is far better than any conventional train. This was the story of Train 18, and I think I've taken more time that Akshat had assigned me. So I'll stop share, and I'm now open to any questions that you have.
Sir, good morning, sir. I am Anudeep, IRSME 2019.
Anudeep, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, as you know that there has been a lot of changes in railways, like the corporatization of PSUs or involvement of the private players. And as you said that there are a lot of bureaucratic drawbacks in railways from past 150 years. And how do you think that these changes are going to affect it? I mean, coming to the next 30 to 35 years, do you think that will there be any change in the overall system of railways, or it is going to be same?
Yeah, I will answer this question. If somebody else has anything related to this privatization or so-called changes.
Sir, I just wanted to know your views on the concept of private trains and the impact that it will have on the in-house manpower of Indian Railways.
All right, good question. So you see, let me, first of all, manpower, when you talk about, this is not related to your question. I'll simply say one thing. You may agree or disagree, but try it once in a while. You may find it pleasurable and effective. Is we have this tendency in railways to always ask for staff. But I can understand asking for operating staff of stations, like station masters, pointsmen, or running staff. Now, these are the categories where their productivity is well defined. They work for their 7 to 9 hours, whatever it is. And they are already always on the job, intensive work, and you cannot do without them. So the shortage of this kind of staff is something you cannot avoid. You can do without, actually. You have to have them. Other than that, mostly other activities. Always look at solutions where more number of staff should be avoided. Because remember, as I said, too many cooks spoil the broth. बर्बाद गुलिस्तां करने को बस एक चुगद ही काफी था. हर शाख पे चुगदा बैठा है, अनजाने गुलिस्तां क्या होगा. Convert this to this thought कि आबाद गुलिस्तां करने को बस चंद गुल ही काफी थे. हर शाख पे गुल ही गुल हो तो हुस्न गुलिस्तां क्या होगा. Easier said and done, but if you make up your mind that less staff, better for you. Always, except the categories I told you. You will find, and you have the option nowadays to outsource also. Gives you a justification, non-core areas, outsource, but don't increase your staff as far as possible. Never ask for staff. As you grow in management, you will have the power to ask for, not only ask, but get staff. But wo hamesha I have found less staff is always better. So this was not directly related to the question. I'll come to that. If you don't mind, I will tell you how things are tackled in railways, and then I'll answer the question. Unfortunately, you will find जिस बात की बातें होती हैं उस बात की कोई बात नहीं, जिस बात की कोई बात नहीं उस बात की बातें होती हैं, जिस बात में थी, जिस बात में इतनी बात बढ़ी उस बात में कोई बात न थी, जब बात पे बात आ जाती है तब बात की बातें होती हैं. Now, most of you may agree, some may not agree, but I am of the view that government in enterprises, railways is an enterprise with social obligation. In enterprises, by and large, government is less efficient than private sector. There are many reasons. I'm not going into it. This is my observation. You cannot deny. At the same time, there is a question of social obligation. So when you come talk about privatization of trains, how do you avoid, by privatizing the trains, how do you avoid price gouging? How do you avoid the trains for common men becoming expensive and unaffordable? So, if you decide that I will only privatize the operation of high-end AC trains with a view to giving better service, which I do believe that private operator would give a better service, with a view to free him of the price regime that budget imposes upon us, treat it purely as a market-based pricing, which we are unable to do right now. Because he will give better service, he can perhaps charge more, and then punctuality. Since we have failed as a, look at our bureaucracy, in spite of the success of Train 18, which the Prime Minister had talked about 3-4 times, where are we? After the 2 rakes I built, zilch. It's nothing but bureaucracy. Where the Prime Minister praises the train and we don't make it, we are unable to make it. We are looking at this thing, that thing, so on. Let me not get into it. Let the private players bring in such trains. Since I will not privatize any train which a common man uses, that is a lower class train, there is no risk of it being bad for common man. It is not like it should be a path for complete privatization or limited high-end private trains. Benefit for railways, whatever you are earning from these trains today, the higher-end trains, that must be guaranteed to you by the private operator. Over and above that, maybe even 5% more than that. So it's beneficial for you money-wise. And now the private operator can charge the fare he wants. If he is willing, fine. I must get what I am getting today. If he is able to give a better service and charge more, that should be his. I would totally support this. Unfortunately or fortunately, I am involved as a consultant in this process of privatization of trains. Boldness is missing in government, whatever be their purpose. So they have made a document, bid document, which is a kind of a safe document where everything is in favor of railways. So you don't want this exercise to fail also. It should be with an empathy for prospective bidders also. Don't allow any windfall profit for them, but keep the field open in a manner that they also get a profit after all. And who's the gainer? The people who can pay get better service, better train, more punctual train because of Train 18 like train, whether imported or Indian, whatever. And the common man doesn't suffer because you're not making any change in that fare structure. That's about private trains. If you want, I can also talk about privatization of, or rather corporatization of PUs, which is being talked about. Again, there's no use talking about something and then do nothing about it. Now we are talking, we don't have perhaps the guts to go forward or whatever. We're talking about it. Don't talk about it if you can't do it. Talking about it now for 2-3 years. So a private industry would, again, like I said, would be more efficient. Why? I give you an example. There's nothing hiding. All the PUs of Indian Railways except RWF, and I'll tell you why. Reason also because I've worked in DLW, I've worked in ICF, I've worked in RWF, DLW, ICF, be in close association with others. Except RWF, staff works on a contract basis, which is ranging from 3 hours in certain eastern and northern PUs to 5 hours a day. Nobody works 8 hours. Staff. Why does RWF work more than 5 hours? Stop there because it's an assembly line. You can't complete 8 hours work in 5 hours, so-called 8 hours work in 5 hours. So it has a continuous assembly line. There is no option for them to stay. So where 2 people are required, maybe we put 3. So a man does, you can say 6 hours of work. So the systems in other PUs are not designed to have that kind of efficiency. It's a fact. You can try to improve the productivity, but in 30, 40 years, you have spoiled your staff not to work for 8 hours, and that's so corporatization is fine, provided you don't do it suddenly. Give them a 7 years or 8 years leeway. Give them assured orders of 80% in the first year, taper it off to 0 in 7 years, make them competitive in the meantime. Let one PSPU compete against the other. It will bring in, when they are into this competition, it will bring in quality and more discipline. And 7 years leeway because you don't want it to go under for lack of order. After all, they are all dependent on the Indian Railways. And when you put them in competition, you don't want one unit to go without orders. And give them now total freedom to export, innovate, design, whatever which is lacking today. What I was able to do in ICF was in spite, mind you, in spite of the system, the board and RDSO, only because of blessings of 2 chairmen, both Mr. Mittal and Mr. Luan. So you don't want to work in this kind of situation. You want the system to give it to you. So in this, with this caveats, I would think that privatization of high-end trains and corporatization of PUs are good steps. Yeah. If you have a follow-up question on that, you're welcome.
Hello, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are.
Hello, sir. I'm Rohit, sir. I'm from 14 batch, sir, and presently in Central Railway. So, like, I always wanted to have a talk with you a long time, but somehow I was not able to manage it. But thanks for the wonderful session, sir. Just wanted to just know one thing from your side regarding the working of railways. That how is it possible to say no for the matters which you as a person, which you feel it's not like जो ज़मीर को गवारा ना करे उस चीज के लिए how a person in this system, especially in railway system, says no to your superiors by knowing that it may hamper you in long run. It may hamper you in very other sects of your life. Like it may be like that things will again come back to you on, like you will be bombarded for many other things, the things which you are not even looking after. Maybe like I'm not looking after those things, but still the question will be asked for that same reasons. So the art of saying no, especially in railways and maybe in mechanical, to be very precise, sir.
Okay, yeah. So I will modify what you just said. You don't need to learn the art of saying no, because it may slowly, gradually brand you, or worse, it may gradually make you yourself a negative person. So don't be so excruciatingly idealist that you say no to it, because your larger purpose is to get the best bang for the buck within your capability. You are not a saint. you have to keep the larger picture in mind. Now, the extent of what you are being asked to do, you have some kind of your own gauge, nobody can teach you, where certain things you may like to close your eyes to because you are being asked to. After all, you are in an organization, but let it not be something totally violating your principles. So that's the first thing I'm saying, because don't become too negative. You will encounter these situations, I agree. Put forward your views, but still, if you are asked to do something, unless it's going to harm you or your career, do it because you are in an organization. Keep it in your mind that this kind of thing is not something you will do as a leader. But don't do it merely to get the blessings of your seniors. So that's not going to help you, I can tell you. Do it only when there is no option, you know it is wrong, but still, in the interest of the being a cog in a large machine, do it if it is not too bad, is what I'm saying. Don't become a saint. That will make you a negative person, because frequently you will be asked to do such things. But never do it for befriend. I'm kind of a toady behavior towards your boss. Maybe you keep silent. As again, I'll go to my uncle. If I remember, there is a share which says, "Janta hu sawab etwa ko mohabbat." Taato zohad. Taato zohad hota hai the obeisance and being devout. Swab is blessings or reward. Janta hu sawab etwa to zohad par tabiyat idhar nahi aati. Par tabiyat udhar mat le jaiye. There are great benefits of being toady, obsequious, being चमचागिरी के बहुत बेनिफिट, और लॉन्ग रन में वो बेनिफिट आपको बहुत तंग करेंगे, तो वो मत लीजिए कभी, उधर तबीयत उधर नहीं जानी चाहिए। चुप भी रह सकते हैं, है कुछ ऐसी ही बात जो चुप हूं वरना क्या बात करनी आती, because someday you will get the chance to बात करो, आपको मौका मिलेगा. So my message is simple: don't be a saint, but don't do something which is inherently to you. I don't know whether I've answered your question, but this is my advice to you. It would have been very easy to say कि कोई गलत काम मत करो, एकदम मत करो, वो practical दुनिया में I will not tell. Make a compromise, be aware of your compromise. Don't make such compromises when you are in this leadership position.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
This is Jyoti, IRPS 2019 probationer, sir. Sir, first of all, thank you for your inspiring words and very inspiring work that you have done with the Train 18. So coming to my question, so now that we have a very modern indigenous train, and we also have the manufacturing capacity, will be increasing the manufacturing capacity as well, and more trains are set to roll out soon. So, and our cost of our train is also very less compared to the international players. So how far are we, or are we, do we have any plans to export or to sell our trains to other countries in the future? So how far are we from being a supplier, global supplier of trains? Thank you.
Okay. You are Jyoti, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Jyoti. So good question. Number one, this was the first attempt to reach world standards. So it will be foolish of me to say that it was fully world standard. No, I would, for assigning some kind of a percentage, I would say that it was little above 90% of a world standard. There are certain areas where we need to learn more, but the idea was that by the time we reach our fourth or fifth train or sixth train out of whatever number we will make, we would be closing this gap. The first two rakes, I would say about 90% of world class. There are areas where it was designed for 200 kilometers per hour. We are running at not even 160 because it's not run on the Bhopal route. So, two questions: how far are we? We set on a path to reduce this gap. Had we imported this train and taken technology from say some multinational, we would have got a train that would be not 90%, but 100%. But the next time we needed to make a train like that, we would again have to go back and import it at great price. Because in this 100% train, our learning would have been 20-30%. In this 90% train, our learning is also 90%. So next time I need to give to India, or we need to give to India a 200-250 kilometers of train, integral coach factory staff, I would say, because they were the ones, they never really too much of involvement of RDSO or any other organization. Not too much, rather no involvement. So they were at least at that stage trained enough to take such a project yourself. And that, number one, is Atmanirbhar, ownership, pride in your product, no Angrez or no superior intelligence telling you, purely Indian. That itself gives you the pride, number one. That answers your question about the gap. Because the gap is there, it will close only if you do it yourself. If you keep importing, that gap will never be filled up. The only way to fill up this gap is to try yourself and make it yourself. Try, fail, because on failure, ladder of failure lies the success, number one. About export, so there are barriers to export in developed countries like in Europe or let's say Korea, Japan, which they don't even usually accept from each other. Japan will never import from Europe. Europe doesn't import from Japan. That's a matter of fact here. But there are middle-level countries who have the capability to pay. Unlike the countries we export to today, are those which have no money to pay. They do it against some World Bank loan, or more often than not, against our own loan, Indian line of credit. So there is hardly any pleasure in exporting to them. We can keep on doing it. Like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, African countries, even Thailand, Myanmar. But there are countries like Malaysia, Turkey, Mexico, Brazil, Peru, so many others, middle-level countries, who will buy it from you, provided you have a proven product. And a proven product would mean at least 10 train sets running in the country. If you go with your proposal to export today, say, how many have you made? We have made 2. What happened after that? Then you will look here. They won't buy it. There is something that you've not even been able to proliferate in your own country. You are coming and trying to sell it to us. So first have 10 of them at least running. Running would mean you will be able to improve them further. Then, of course, that's the whole idea. You can go and export to these countries who can't make it themselves, but have the money to buy it, and they are getting it at half, 1/3 the price of buying it from any European country. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, my question is that, sir, in your talks, you have frequently said that to do anything anyway, you need to love what you do.
Are you the one who? No, you are the one.
Yes, sir.
Now you are giving yourself away. You knew the answer I like. So is that the reason you were able to?
No, sir. Actually, I also believe in something like that, sir. So, sir, my question is, so my question is that how did you reach the point where you were finally able to say that this is what I actually love? This is what I can devote myself to. How was your journey to reach that point, sir?
Okay. So that's a good question. So just give me a time. Just give me 1 minute. Just give me a minute. I'm just trying to take a snap of the chat box. Because although I'm recording it, we get lost. All right. So, when I joined service, so I was told by a 1-year senior officer, because unlike you people who are perhaps doing some serious training, we were only loafing around, doing any training. I knew nothing. Most of us knew nothing. I, of course, knew practically nothing. So then you have this apprehension. You've enjoyed your probation, now you're trying to get posted. You have no idea what to expect and so on. So one of my 1 year senior, he told me, you will get confidence the day you place somebody under suspension. And I believed it, and I did it. Then as AME Power, those team days, the first job in the morning used to be, a bundle of charge sheets could come to you in the control room itself. And your job was to sign all these charge sheets. This was the culture of railways. It perhaps still is, a little less. And we thought we were, I at that stage didn't realize that this was a horrible way of running an organization. In the course of the time, when I went to a diesel shed, came into more closer contact with staff, one-to-one, even staff, let alone supervisors. That's when you realize, when you put a face to a staff, when you realize this way of dealing, of issuing charge sheets and treating them as subhuman is the reason of railways feudal type of outlook is what it is, and it will never improve. That British time hangover had to go because you are a family. Slow realization, and even better. That's why it took me, I would say, let me try to remember, maybe at least 6-7 years till I realized that this charge sheet business, issuing charge sheet SF11 is something hopeless. You may have a situation where there is some shortage. The audit wants you to issue an SF11, show it to them that something was done. Leave aside those cases. Otherwise, never issue SF11. Why? Because in diesel shed Bardhaman, there used to be only one fellow, 1.5 fellows who knew how to repair a water pump. And he really knew the job. And there were 80 locos, burning some POH and all that. So he was doing about, let's say, about 70 water pumps yearly overhaul every year. That's like, almost like every week one. That's what it is, right? Every one, maybe every week two. This was his job. And 70 water pumps that he repaired, out of which 1 or 2 used to fail. There's a law of probability in spite of his good job. So I used to know him personally because I went to water pump. I wanted to learn. I said, please teach me how to overhaul a water pump. He said, sir, please watch me. I'll stand there for, I have a DME, new to diesel, stand there for 1 hour and see what he was doing. So he was my guru. Of course, he used to give me the necessary respect. I used to speak Bangla also. On my table came a charge sheet to that gentleman because one water pump had failed. I felt so ashamed. Because he's the only one in the shed who knows how to repair a water pump. And just because 1 out of 70 failed, we gave him a charge sheet. Imagine what damage we are doing to the mentality of that man. I mean, he was so used to the system that he didn't even feel infra dig to come and see, another charge sheet has come, please look after fee. I felt pani ho. This thing taught me. ये जो फेसलेस ढंग से चार्जशीट देते रहते हो लोगों को बंद करो. नो चार्जशीट. बदमाश अगर कोई है भाई साहब, पीछे पड़ जाओ, उसको लात मार के बाहर से निकाल दो. दैट्स योर जॉब. ये चार्जशीट पार्टशीट सब बेकार. मेक श्योर कि ये आदमी गड़बड़ है, बदमाश है, मिसबिहेव विद विमेन और व्हाटएवर. सर वो तो 14-2 लगा दो. IC 4 को लगाई थी. मैं कहा अगर किसी लेडी के साथ मिसबिहेव किया, शाम तक निकाल के बाहर कर. हमें कुछ नहीं चाहिए लेडी से, कोई एविडेंस नहीं चाहिए, कोई इंक्वायरी, कुछ नहीं चाहिए. आई हैव टू बी सेटिस्फाइड किसने किया है. पहले इसको बाहर करो, पावर दिया, और मेरे को नहीं, एक AWM को पावर है निकालने, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द लेवल. 14-2 में बाहर करो, फिर कोर्ट वोट जाएगा तो देखा जाएगा. अगर उसने किया होगा तो डर के मारे वैसे ही कौन जाएगा. नहीं गए, 4 आदमियों को निकाला वैसे. लेकिन ये चार्जशीट वार्शीट आर द मोस्ट यूजलेस थिंग. एंड दैट इज परहैप्स योर आंसर व्हेन आई रियलाइज यार इनको इस तरह से ट्रीट करने के बजाय इनसे मोहब्बत करो तो कितनी इंप्रूवमेंट होगी. मोहब्बत नहीं आती है अगर नेचुरल ह्यूमन, सब पे मोहब्बत कहाँ से आएगी. तो उसको पैदा करो, नाटक करो मोहब्बत का. Contrive, as I said, but that's the key. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Akshar,
Sir, I have a question, sir.
yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, like you were saying that there were paucity of funds while Train 18 was in the initial stages. You told about the sanctioning. There were some problems during the sanctioning of funds. So,
Funds.
sir,
No,
don't
no,
you
no.
think the
Okay,
organization is not?
wait. Let me first clarify what I'm saying. What I said, then you asked your question. So there was no fund was never an issue. Sanction. You need for a new rolling stock, a GM can place an order for 5,000 crores provided he has a budget. He doesn't have to go to board. Total empowerment has been given. So in ICF, I decided tenders were 1,000, 2,000 crores, 4-5 of them. But to manufacture a new rolling stock, it must appear in rolling stock program with sanction of bill. Whether it is 5 rupees or 1,000 crore, you need a sanction. That's so it was not funds, it was sanction. Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Well, so I was asking, so I am not sure about it, but is the organization, the Indian Railway organization, not conducive towards promoting new ideas on a particular scale? Like Train 18 was a completely new idea. So had Indian Railway been a private railway, so the task would have been very simple. So is that the thinking that I have right now, is that right or not?
Okay, so let me see. Let me see if I can go to a slide here. Can you see the slide?
It's loading, sir.
Sorry?
It's loading, it's loading.
Loading. Why is it taking time? White. Anyway, so I don't need really a slide for this. So you said promotion of idea. Let me try once more. One, it doesn't work. So screen. Yes. Okay. You can hear me, right? You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
So I've already talked to you about this. So you understand what I write here, first of all. Can anybody tell me what I mean by this? Anyone? Akshat, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, very well.
Yeah, so what do I mean by this? What do you think?
Sir, I guess the job that we have been assigned as Group A service is not what we think of it is. It is more than that.
Okay, yeah. Good. So you have got it. Actually, it is very simple. So every job that you do will have some kind of a job list or duty list assigned, right? ये फाइल है, ये सैंक्शन, ये करना आपका काम है. But don't you find it surprising? आप किसी एएमई से पूछो या किसी एओएस से पूछो कि आपका क्या काम है, एएमई कहेगा मेंटेन ट्रेन्स सो दैट दे रन, एओएस कहेगा टू रन ट्रेन्स. आप सीएमई से पूछो, वो भी यही जवाब देता है. to have to get trains maintained and overall. C1 बोलेगा to trains. तो इतने tiers हैं वो सब एक ही काम करते हैं. I would always say whichever be your post, except your first posting, then that's the time to learn. You don't expect to achieve anything as an AME or AOM or ACM or AEN or whatever. Don't, please learn, because it's not your time to. In the process, if you achieve something well and good, if you don't be worried at all, because that's not the time to achieve anything. It's only to learn. इसके बाद आपको एक बताया जाएगा कि ये आपका काम है. आपका वो एकदम ही काम है ही नहीं. आपका वो 5 से 10% का काम है. वो जो फाइल वाइल आती है सैंक्शन, बाकी वो सब काम आपके काम है जो कि आपके काम नहीं है पेपर पे. आप की इनोवेशन की बात की थी. आपके इनोवेशन से ऐसी कोई भी चीज आप करो जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के बेनिफिट में है, और वो आपके बिकॉज यू वांटेड टू डू इट वाज डन, और एटलीस्ट ट्राइड टू डू इट. If you had not tried, wouldn't have mattered. It won't be done. If you had not done it, won't be done. That's it. That means you look back and see this is what I did, and it benefited the organization. Maybe it did not benefit, but I tried. But nobody asked you to. That's important. That's so innovation has to start from you, and that has to be your main job. Because the regular job that you do is something which would be done somebody below you or somebody above you. इतने सारे tiers हैं, all of the things that हम कर रहे हैं, और वो system कर रहा है. वो never be fooled that you are busy doing this, running trains or maintaining trains. Had you not been there, would it be done? Yes, it would be done. Probably equally good or perhaps better or marginally less. Your main job is to think out of that job list and do something that is meaningful. That is number one. And another part I will tell you about your question is ये एक एग्जाम्पल एक छोटा सा. तो जब when I was in ADRM सिकंदराबाद, तो ADRM की भी एक लंबी चौड़ी लिस्ट होती है काम की. उसमें अपने आप आपकी कुछ एरियाज असाइंड है. तो one of the things I thought was, well, I'll stoop down to the level of a safai wala, and I'll improve the cleanliness of Secunderabad station. Now, so the people would deride कि ADRM होके basically आप janitor, health inspector बन रहे. मैं यहाँ पे बन रहा हूँ because ADRM का ऐसे तो कुछ होता नहीं काम. He's like one of those, bulls, one of those oxes running behind the bull. The bull is the DRM, ADRM is the ox. आप ये देखिए, तो I said wholeheartedly, मैंने कहा with support कि मैं पूरा I'll revolutionize the way the cleaning is done at Secunderabad station. आप ये जो मिडिल में आदमी हेल्थ इंस्पेक्टर देख रहे हैं, उसको मैंने शर्ट पैंट टाई खरीद के दी, जस्ट लाइक, और ये रेलवे के पैसे से, और इन सबों को ये यूनिफॉर्म दी. मैंने कहा भाई पहली चीज तो यू हैव प्राइड इन योर वर्क, एंड आई विल कम एंड आपसे गले मिलूंगा, हाथ मिलाऊंगा, because you are doing a job which is far more important than what ADRM is doing, because you are carrying the image of the. Through this effort in 1.5 to 2 years, Secunderabad became the cleanest station. Not merely because they got some award or something, by public perception. In fact, if you go to platform number 10 of Secunderabad station, we made it in a manner, it's so amenable. For example, this guy riding this machine. Now, this kind of machine was not even there at airport. I'm talking of 2004. The first one in Secunderabad station, we got this machine, and I had not seen it at airports also at that time. Now you see everywhere, in malls also. This made a top page of the local newspaper with this Mr. Janki Raman, the health inspector. So this today, cleaning up Secunderabad station in 2005, 2006 gave me much more satisfaction than any of the design of locomotives is the coaches that I done at RDSO and other places. And I think I have this slide about innovation, which I'll come to quickly. This is number one. Of course, you ask this question that the organization does not do it. It does it in a manufactured manner. Quality circle, it comes as an order. You cannot command it. The spirit of innovation dies before it is born if you order, mandate it, cajole it, dismiss it, ridicule it, patronize it. All you have to do is encourage it and devise a means where it is encouraged. So what did we do in ICF? One example. And not only in ICF, I did it in RWF and other places also. The latest ones I'm showing you. Every officer, there were 160 of them, later supervisors. I said, you have to come up with one idea every month. Now this is an order, but look at the difference in the order. You will have one idea every month, and it may be anything, the smallest. It may be a nut or bolt, it may be cleaning of your table, it may be anything. But you will be the single window. You will not come to me and say, X did not do it, so it didn't happen. Fine. Take your time, choose your idea, my dear sir. But after 2 months are passed, you will tell me why it was not implemented. I'm not looking for excuse. Idea was yours, you chose it, you are a single window to implement it. With 160 officers, I'm not even going to supervise this. Over 2.5 years, that came to more than 3,000, 4,000 ideas. And even if 75% hit was taken, you see 2,500 to 3,000 new things done without any extra effort, all by the men themselves. So this is a way to command ideas without ordering it, but leaving it to the person to do it. Or have these innovation ideas where never ridicule any idea. You may not implement it. You may not, don't patronize them, don't dismiss it. Encourage it. You may not like it, you may tell why it's not. You give a free hand to give ideas. I hope that answers the question here.
Yes, sir. Very well. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, thank you for the wonderful session. But I have a question that many a times, if we go by the laws or by processes involved, it takes a very much time to execute a project while doing that.
Yeah.
And many people don't bypass them because due to the fear of inquiry or many hurdles, they don't take the initiative.
Yeah.
So is it right to fear such an inquiry, because it would be much more practical that way?
Okay, yeah. So fortunately and unfortunately, you will hear that vigilance, audit, even CBI and caves are big detriments for you to do something, because they don't look at the result, they only look at the processes. And even when you do some mistake, although it was well-meaning, they will go after you. So I'm not saying it's untrue. It is true to some extent. And I can hardly say it is untrue, because I was made a victim of vigilance inquiry. Just because we made a good thing and people didn't tolerate it, it happened. Now, it is foolhardy of me to say that don't bother about it. You have to bother because it gives a pressure upon you. But make a balance. This kind of imperfections do exist in our organization, yes. So I have no advice for anybody, who is, let me tell you frankly, who does not have clean intentions. If you don't have clean intentions, you will perhaps already quite secure. You're already quite determined to make sure that you are not caught. So you will take all measures, and your primary objective is either money, or your primary objective is to do something good, but in the process also make some money and so on. So you will cover your tracks. It's only when you have only good intentions in mind and you don't want to do it quickly that you may make mistakes, which these organizations can make molehill, mountain out of a molehill. So that risk you do run. But still, my advice will be simple. Every level has a certain freedom to act, a certain discretion, which is given and defined. Everyone says you have L1 syndrome in railways. I don't agree. Policy of public procurement or GFR in terms of box contract does give you an option to go for a product or a contract which, in your judgment, is going to be of more value to railways, or there is certain offer which is for reason XYZ is not conducive for good implementation. But all you have to do is be clear in your mind that you want to do it. You are already clean. Your intention is only to do a good job. Record those reasons very clearly and take decisions which are good for railways, which are good for the country. Don't be afraid of these. Because see, if you are afraid and you don't work, then maybe you will be safe all your service life. But as I said, once you retire and look back, you will have a miserable thought to look back and say that, yaar, kuch khas kaam nahi kar paya. Kaisa banana is no. So it's better to be bold with careful while you are being careful. And if your reasoning is correct, record the reasons and go for bold decisions. You may face some adversity, but in the long run, harm will not. I would generally believe that harm will not come to you. There may be some frustration and tension, which I also face, but I don't think I would change my way of working, even if I go back and find that I could have had a much simpler service life had I not done some unconventional decision making. So my advice to you, think about it. It will give you more pleasure to work in a manner which is bold, with sense of purpose. Cover your tracks by recording your reasons clearly. Don't be dismissive, but cover your tracks by writing the reasons clearly. And if you're clean in your purpose, if you're clear in your head, you will by and large have good service life and later.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I would like to ask you a question regarding IRMS. As we are, as an officer now, we are molded as an IRMS officer, not as a particular mechanical, electrical, civil engineering officer. So, what are your views regarding IRMS? Are there any shortcomings that government is hiding by bringing IRMS, or they are planning something big, but because no notification has yet come regarding the regarding the new officers to be enrolled in the railways. So what are your views?
Okay. So you see, there is no ideal solution. You have to look at a scenario where you have these, whatever, eight departments, and they work in silos, and there's too much of department, and how much harm it does to railways. Tremendous. If these organizations existed, these departments, and worked solely for railways and not for themselves, this was a good system, because who can deny that you do need an expertise in that area? And by making a single service, you are letting go of that expertise. I'm not want to say that a particular service does not require expertise. But look at the flip side. what have we done to our with these organizations? We are so steeped in departmentalism that a solution has to be found. So it is not an ideal solution, but I would still say that it perhaps opens up a vista for Indian Railways, which is better than the present IRMS. So I'm sticking my neck out to say that it was not a bad decision. I'll come to other points later. So not generally a bad. And in the belief that you have handed over the country to IAS, who can just run anything in the country, whether good or bad. So we can try this out also. There was a view that it should be limited to engineers only. Well, that's also controversial, so I'll not get into that right now. Now the question of how do you implement it? Now this, you went ahead without really knowing how to implement it. You cannot bring a system where a particular cadre who has been recruited with a certain progression in career, if not assured as the very likely, you cannot vitiate that in the middle of a service. So if you are recruited in IRPS and you are assured that you will become PCPO by the time you retire or whatever age you, by merger of cadre, if a situation presents itself where you may lose even that, then it is totally unfair. It is not something which will stand the scrutiny of any court. You should not even attempt it. These things were not thought of. They just announced one IRPS and made good slides and showed it to you. Where was the thinking? So by and large, a concept which sounded good on paper was totally spoiled by this kind of, knee-jerk announcement, number one. Number two, look at what we have, how we twist facts. I mean, you were whatever, 5, 6 members, then you created 2 more members post, made it 8. Then within a year, you said, I'm downsizing the board, I made it 5, whatever. I mean, this kind of drama shows that you have no sense of purpose. You are only doing it just because you are grabbing headlines. Does it, I mean, are we fools to listen to this? That we were 8, we have made it 5. How you were 5 or 6 or 7, 1 year back, you made it 9, you made it 5. All that shows that thinking had not gone. If you want to break these departmental silos and you want to create one service or 2 services, one technical, one non-technical, these are all matters to be debated. This has to be thought of with all stakeholders, with firmness to do it quickly and making sure that nobody goes to court. Because once you affect a cadre, they'll go to court and court will give them relief. But if you maintain the career progression in whatever way you can, it's possible. While making a common service, court will not give you relief. But all that was not thought of and we hurriedly went into it. That's why you see no progress. So I'll again briefly answer your question is that given the circumstances of extremely obnoxious departmentalism in railways, I think IRMS was a good idea, but the way it's been implemented is not going to lead anywhere.
Thank you, sir, for your views.
So, Akshat, I think perhaps, unless there is a last question, we can call it a day. It was a pleasure. Is there anyone else?
Hello, sir. I'm Ram. Sir, I don't have any questions, but I would like to thank you for this wonderful session.
Okay. Pleasure talking to all of you, and it would be my pleasure to talk to you anytime again. And I have, since you asked about Train 18, I'm not promoting my book. This has just been out, so I'll show it to you. This is come in paperback as well as in as a hard copy, and it will, because of lockdown, I have not put it in Amazon. The book would soon be available, and I don't know if any of you are interested. I will let Akshat know if it comes on, when it comes to Amazon. Maybe you would like to get a copy, only generally a summary of what all I'm talking to you. I would even suggest get the paperback version, which is much cheaper. And of course, any of you, if you are in Lucknow and we get to meet post-COVID situation, I would like to present you a copy. You won't have to buy it. Thank you. Thank you all very much. And I'm always available because although I do consultancy and various other things to promotion of art, writing my blogs and books and so on, but it's my supreme pleasure to talk to young officers. And if I can contribute a little bit in enabling you to tackle railway service a little better, it would be entirely my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Sir, on behalf of all the probationers, I would like to thank you for spending your precious time towards us. We all know that even in your post-retirement life, you are busy with your startup as a rail consultant. And sir, it was a very, very inspirational session wherein you presented your shairis. Like those were very much heart-touching. Yes, sir. And I mean to say, sir, it was very inspirational. If we ever get a chance to meet you face to face, some physical session if possible in the future, that will be very much appreciated, sir. And thank you very much for conducting this session at such a short notice.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you. And bye-bye. All the best.